What is up, BO3? This is Dr. Ely. I decided to do this impromptu Sunday afternoon meeting. Right now it is Sunday. I don't even know the date anymore right now. Let me see. It's November the 3rd, if my calculations are correct, if my computer is right. And it is Amazon. What time is it?
The time is 1:04 p.m.
So it's 1:04 p.m. I am going to do a quick overview on your group paper because I've been getting, right now, we are down to the wire. We only got a few weeks left of class left, and that group assignment is coming due. And there are students who have no idea what to do. And this has been a crazy busy semester for me. I'm teaching 10 classes and I have a political job outside of teaching that I do. And then a lot of students really couldn't meet up with me this last month because of your schedules. This is an online class, so is expected. But also the group, not paper, the group presentation in this class is a very important component to this class because one of the things that's the essence of political science is being able to work with other people. So even though you are online and virtual, um, you should be able to come together with group members to come up with a cohesive project. My number one bit of advice is to not overthink it. This is not an assignment you want to overthink. This is an assignment that you want to get done. Like you want to, if you've got group members, you want to be um making sure that they're active in the class. There is a chance that some of these people in this class are not doing what they're supposed to do. I try my best to drop students and take students out of groups who haven't been actively participating in work, but there's only so much I can do. There might have been some students that started off strong at the beginning of the semester, and then towards the middle of the semester or the end of the semester, after my drop deadline, they were like, you know what? I don't feel like doing work anymore. So those be the breaks. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen and we'll talk about this stuff and put everybody at ease because this assignment shouldn't be an assignment that's like causing people to have heart attacks and convulsions and all that stuff. If you did well on the first two exams, you're gonna do well on this one. We just got to get you in the right headspace and mind for it. All right. So there is a assignment description from last semester about the group paper that is posted in the modules. That is still I watched it yesterday. It's still kind of good, but I always like to do a fresh one of these for my students so we're updated, right? All right. And y'all know that I'm live today because I'm wearing my Otani shirt because the Dodgers won the World Series. Happy about that. Anyway, so let's go to our class. So our class is this class. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to exam um 3 in the assignment. So exam 3, um I've got it due November the 15th. Now, here's the thing with the due date. That is a due date if you can get it done by the 15th. All right. I already know college students. I'm expecting students to say, hey, can I get a little bit longer? I don't care about that. I think our class is scheduled to end on like December the 3rd. I don't mind if you get this thing done like closer towards Thanksgiving. I don't care about that either. My main thing is you just working on it and coming up with a presentation. So if you need a little bit past the 15th, that is not going to be an issue for me, all right? But this is how the assignment is going to go. Let me click on it, right? So these are the groups. So some of these groups got eliminated because students dropped. There was one class, there was one group where the whole group, everyone in the group dropped the class. So that group isn't going to exist anymore. There were groups where like maybe two students dropped or one student dropped. So I had to move those students to other groups. So if you have an issue with your group assignment, let me know and we could talk about it. Um, but these are the groups right here. So let me talk about each one of them for a little bit so you will have an idea of what I am looking for you to do. Actually, I don't want to talk about them right here because, again, some of these groups have been eliminated. So let me make sure that I'm going to the right section. So if you are a student, you will find your group in the people section of the modules. All right. So when you go to the people section of the module, it'll take you to your group alone. In my modules, it's got all of the groups, but in your module, it's just going to have your group, right? So these are the groups that are in business. So we've got cults, and those are the people in the cults group. Um, the Dunning-Kruger effect, those are the people in that group. Let me see, ethics and political media, those are the people in that group. Um, First Amendment protection. Let me click on this real quick. Those are the people in that group. So if a group has this many members in it, what it usually means is those students asked to be in that group. So I tried to put if you requested a group, I tried to put you in that group. And I do believe that 5 students asked to be in this First Amendment protection group. So that's why that group is that many. And then the multi-level marketing group has 4 students. Again, I think 2 of the students in this group requested to be in a group together, and then 2 more students got added to that group. Um, Occam's razor, let me see. That's 4 students in that group at the moment. Let me see. So the Reconstruction Amendments, there's 4 students in that group. And then Sovereign Citizen Movement, there are 4 students in that group. So 3 to 4 students in each group. All right, so this is what your main assignment is, okay? Before anything else, if you find out that is a student or a couple students in your group that is not answering your emails, that's not responding to phone calls, that isn't responding to messages, assume they are not in your group. Assume they dropped the class. Assume they are getting an F for the semester because they likely are, and you worry about your business, right? So, Veronica, you're in a group, see who's in your group, make sure you are contacting those group members. If they are not talking to you, you want to just say, hey, this is no, we're not trying to be offensive, but the hell with you. I got to get my work done. All right. So, let me see what group. So since Veronica is on the call, she joined me a little late. Let's see what group you are in, Veronica. And we'll start with your group, and then I'll start talking about other people's groups. All right. So, okay. So, Veronica, you are in the Sovereign Citizen Movement group, right? Have you looked up anything on the Sovereign Citizen Movement? People call it the SovCit movement, SOV-CIT. Have you looked up anything on that? Okay. Okay, so that movement is interesting, right? So what 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 happens with people is that something happens, right? Where like say you got bad credit, say you lose your driver's license, say you can't pay your bills, all that stuff. And now you're like, what am I gonna do? So you will find like these rip-off artists online, these movements that'll say, hey, all this stuff that society says you have to pay, like these court dates that society says you have to attend, you really don't have to do this stuff, right? And they'll give you like you pay them some money and they'll give you this sovereign citizen badge, and that's supposed to alleviate you having to deal with that crap, okay? So and then what I want you to do as a group is to talk about the movement. There are different types of sovereign citizen movements. They all equate to the same kind of thing, which is um, I don't have to pay my bills. I don't have to get a driver's license. My driver's license is suspended, but a driver's license is a thing of the man or this or that. So I don't have to pay it. If you go on YouTube, you will see these people go into court, disrespecting the judge, getting arrested. It's very, very, very interesting, right? So we want to tie every group assignment that we're doing to back to politics, okay? So it's one thing to know about the like the sovereign citizen movement, um say what the law actually says and why these laws exist and why these sovereign citizen people are wrong because they are wrong, right? So I'm going to start from the bottom and then go up. So the Reconstruction Amendments are the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, right? So if you're in this group, it's pretty straightforward. You want to give me a slide. You want your slide presentations to be, I'd say, at least 7 minutes, but not longer than 15 minutes. If you go a little bit over 15 minutes, I won't penalize you for it. At this point, I just want you all to get together and do the project, right? So that's the main goal, but just get together and do that. 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. There is a couple PowerPoints in the modules that will assist you with this. If you all in this group watched the documentary 13th, I mean, you probably did because exam two had some questions on that. You should be good. So watch that documentary 13th again. It'll at least talk about the 13th Amendment. And then the 14th and 15th Amendment, there's a PowerPoint presentation that'll talk about those again. Those are Reconstruction amendments. All right, so make sure that you know what those are. So the Occam's razor and conspiracy theories. So we talked about Occam's razor and conspiracy theories towards the beginning of the semester. So with Occam's razor, what it suggests that the simplest explanation is usually the best explanation. And this is typically how things are in politics, right? So a lot of times it's how things are in life. Like when I talk to uh like my I'll give you the perfect example. I had my nieces and nephews over here one day, and they had my tablet, and they dropped it, and the glass on the tablet shattered everywhere, right? So the two boys, my nephews, I asked all three of them what happened. They said the we were getting deliveries over here, and the Grubhub guy, we gave him the tablet, and he dropped the tablet and it broke, and blah blah blah, and it was a far-fetched out there story. So the two boys were in this lie to win it. This was their lie, and they were gonna run away with it and believe it. I finally asked the little girl, my niece, what happened? And then she starts crying. "Oh, we were playing games. I ran into it, and we ran into it, and it dropped it. And Thomas tried to just start crying immediately, which is what I figured happened. I figured that they were horsing around, and this is how my tablet broke. And they were telling me this outrageous story about the delivery driver dropping the tablet. The delivery driver has no reason to touch my tablet, right? So that's Occam's razor in a nutshell. Now, um, there are situations where it can be a serious thing, right? Like, I had brain surgery a couple years ago. Before I had the brain surgery, I didn't know what was going on. I was getting these random headaches, and my balance just got worse and worse and worse. Um, in the beginning, we shrugged it off, saying, "Oh, it wasn't anything much." But I was like, "Okay, we got to go back to the hospital because this isn't normal." And then, upon further explanation, we found out that I needed brain surgery. If I would have just accepted the first results, I could have gotten into some serious trouble, and the subdural hematoma in my head would have continued to bleed out, and I would have probably died before that year was up, right? So it's not that Occam's razor is always the right, but it's usually right, right? And then also, how this pertains to conspiracy theories is because people look for out there explanations to explain things that are a lot simpler than what they believe, right? Like the vaccine is a perfect example of that. Like if you watch Joe Rogan's show, he was spreading all kinds of conspiracy theories about the vaccine. There's different kinds of conspiracy theories out there that you can look up and do a cohesive project. You want to make sure that you, whatever conspiracy theory that you stick to, you want to make sure that you do have at least a couple or one conspiracy theory that has to do with politics, okay? I can't tell you which one to use, but there are some political conspiracy theories, right? Like election results, things of that nature. Uh and we're having an election in a couple days, so all right. So that's Occam's razor. Multi-level marketing. Now this one is interesting too, because these are groups like like prepaid legal. These are groups like I'm trying to think, like the people that sell the knives, all that stuff, where they tell you, hey, join this group and pay this amount, and you pay us like $150, and you will give you these knives to sell, and you sell these knives, and you could be rich in like 6 months, a year if you work hard at it. And they'll show you like people that live these luxurious lives as a result of their multi-level marketing. And there are actually a lot of politicians that are involved in multi-level marketing schemes. So what you want to do is talk about multi-level marketing, but you also want to talk about the political actors that are involved in multi-level marketing schemes. Like Donald Trump was involved in at least one. Bill Clinton may have been involved in one, I'm not sure. Donald Trump was definitely involved in a couple of these things. So look it up, look up the politics of it, come back, report to the class in a 7 to 15 minute slideshow, all right? And then let's see. The the First Amendment protections. So there is a PowerPoint presentation. I think there might even be a video um presentation where I give you guys a First Amendment lecture that you can watch in the modules. What you want to make sure you do not do is just copy what I say verbatim. Okay, you want to make sure you're coming up with your own original thoughts for that presentation. Um, and hold on one second. Did I record this? Making sure my video is recording because I don't want this to be okay. It is recording. Okay, good. I get a little paranoid sometimes. So what you want to make sure you don't do for the First Amendment group um is just um copy what I did verbatim, right? So because sometimes students do that, right? Like one of the things I specifically say in my First Amendment lecture is that hate speech is not always something that the hate speech is not necessarily um not protected by the First Amendment, because I know plenty of instances where hate speech is protected by the First Amendment, right? So you don't want to copy that PowerPoint exactly, because I do make clear, even in the PowerPoint, I did that PowerPoint with somebody else and we had a disagreement on that. So what we concluded was we would put hate speech as something that's not protected, but I would also put the caveat that I know instances from my experience working in the courthouses that there have been times where hate speech has been protected by the First Amendment. So make sure that when you're talking about the First Amendment, talk about cases that we haven't necessarily talked about in class. And when I say we haven't talked about in class, I'm talking about stuff I didn't talk about in that PowerPoint presentation. All right. So you'll do well on that. Again, you want to keep your presentation 7 to 15 minutes and you will do fine with that. Okay. And then let's see, Savannah, Thomas, and Thomas. Is that two Thomases in the class? Okay, so both we got two Thomases and Savannah in a group. And that looks like the Dunning-Kruger effect. I'll circle back down to the ethics in political media, but we'll talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. So the Dunning-Kruger effect definitely happens in politics. When somebody thinks that they know everything and they really don't, that is the Dunning-Kruger effect in a nutshell, right? So what people do is they will learn something and they'll learn enough about something to have a baseline knowledge of it, but they don't know enough about what they're studying to be wrong, right? Neil deGrasse Tyson on YouTube explains this perfectly. And I've been talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect for semesters, and he made this video. I think this year he was responding to actor Terrence Howard. And I don't know what Terrence Howard was. I think he said that he discovered like some new kind of like element or whatever. Sounded like someone that didn't know what they were talking about. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of explains why he doesn't know what he's talking about. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Look it up, watch some YouTube videos, Google some articles, and you should be fine on that. Again, we're looking at 7 to 15 minutes. All right. Ethics in political media. We're living in a time now where people are capitulating to tyrants, right? In 2 days, we do not know who is going to be the president. It's going to be either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, right? And if Donald Trump becomes president, he's already kind of said what he wants to do about the First Amendment. He doesn't believe that media should ever attack him on anything. So uh, you guys might want to wait until the election is over with and results are in. We might not get results that night. It might take us a good couple days. I'm hoping my optimism says we'll get results by Wednesday morning, but there is a chance it could take a little bit longer than that. So just pay attention to the election results, and you all should do well with the ethics and political media project. Okay. So we talked about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And then finally, cults. Cults are something that we talked about ad nauseum in this class. I did like most of the first exam is on the wave and how these students just kind of got into cults. So the official name of the cults group is cults and cultish movements, right? So sometimes someone might be in a cultish movement and not necessarily be in a cult that you live in, but you are in a cultish movement that you don't know you are a part of, and you might find out about it when it's too late. All right. So you want to do your presentation. Just what you're looking to do is present new information to me and the rest of your classmates that we did not know before. Okay. And then you'll do well on that. All right. Again, look for people in your group that have not been participating. So, right now, there are 8 groups in the class. There's going to be just one of you, just one person that is going to um, present. That's going to post your group presentation in the assignment tab. So let me show you where this is at, okay? So I want to make sure we are crystal clear. And I want to thank you, Veronica, for joining me at the last minute because I do think I do better when I have an audience, even if it's just one person. It's better than no people. So I will love you forever for this, Veronica. So thank you for that, okay? And then let's look at the let's look at the assignment. All right, so this is where we're going to go. We're going to go to PowerPoint presentations. You are going to post your presentation here. So this is everyone's gets the group grade. So the group grade is going to be worth 5 points. And so the person that originally posts is just going to post it right here, and then you will just add it as an attachment. I personally like doing YouTube videos, so it could be a link, and then just sharing the YouTube video with the class. But if you want to do it as just a video file, that's fine too. Just make sure that we can all watch it. Once, so like if Veronica is the leader of her group and she posts the video, Veronica's gonna have 9 posts, right? Hey Kelly, what's up? So if Veronica has 9 posts, that means that she's the person that posted the video. And then she'll have like 8 responses to the other group. So in total, you should have 8 posts in total, right? So let's go back to people real quick, and I'll show you this. So Kelly, you missed what I went over every single thing. So if you want me to, I'll stick around. But Veronica, did I do a good job of explaining the expectations of the group presentation? Do you feel better about it or worse about it? Okay. Okay, I feel better. All right, cool. Thank you. I did my job there, Veronica. So thank you so much. All right. Again, these are the groups. Again, we had students that dropped. What I explained to Veronica before you got here, Kelly, is
Mhm.
don't worry about the people who are not participating. Okay. If you got a group of students and they are not participating, assume they are not in your group anymore. Assume they have faded off into the ether and they're just doing their own thing. All right. And that's pretty much my presentation. So what I'm going to do now, make sure, because again, you get the full points for your original presentation and your 8 responses to other people's presentations. Do not shortchange the students who worked hard on these presentations with like a 1 word response. Don't give me some, that was a good presentation. Don't do that. Be salient, be interested in what they're showing us, okay? So they will know that you at least care about what they presented. And these are usually really good presentations, all right? Again, don't worry about getting it done by the 15th. Get it done as soon as you can. So that's that for that. So then I'm going to talk a little bit about the last paper, and then I will let you all go. And then Kelly, if you need me to stay a little bit longer so I can talk to you about your group specifically, um, we can do that as well. All right. So let's go to assignments real quick. And then I'll go to the paper. So the paper is an APA style paper, and the paper is going to be on any of the topics that we've talked about in class. Let me show you real quick. So it says essay. Each essay has its own unique directions. So you could do your essay on the wave, which was what we talked about mostly um, at the beginning of the semester. And again, keep it APA style. I'll show you the APA style in a second. So just give me a second to do that. And then your other at choice is a critical analysis of 13th. If you did exam 2, you should have watched 13th because there were some questions on 13th. Watch that APA style as well. And then essay 3 is on the PBS documentary An Honest Liar. Love that documentary. James Randi died a couple years ago. I was sad when he passed away, but he was one of my favorites. So watch Shouting Fire. I'll leave that one up. I don't like Shouting Fire as much as I used to like it. It's not a good documentary to me anymore, but that's my opinion. if you like it and want to do your paper on it, I'll leave it up, and then maybe next semester I'll take it off the options. It's an old documentary, so I think it's a little dated and um kind of stupid in my opinion. I would give you more updated. So then the number five is critical analysis of the book that you read throughout the semester, win every argument. And then the last choice is um though there's Malcolm Nance. So I think that's I might have added an extra one. So the Malcolm at Nance interviews. And then let me see. So that might be it. There was one choice that I wanted to add with Elon Musk being interviewed by Don Lemon. I thought that was a good interview for the First Amendment. So if you want to do that essay, you can as well. I don't know how well you all know other people in the class. If you want to partner with somebody on your essay, if you want to do your essay with your group members or whatever you want to do, you're allowed to do that as well. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. That's APA style. Again, just make sure you get that done by the end of the semester. I'm not a stickler for due dates for the group presentation. If you want to get that into me after Thanksgiving, that's cool too. I really don't care. I just want you guys to be able to work in groups and get it done. All right. But I am confident because there is one final discussion because this is a political science class, so we can't let the semester finish without talking about election results, right? Because that's what we do in political science, right? So what again? Trump is gonna win. I hope not, or Kamala Harris is gonna win. That's what I hope. Kamala Harris wins. That's my personal opinion, but we're not going to know this until it actually happens, and once it happens, I'm going to post the discussion. That's going to be your final discussion for the semester. So you really got three things left to do. Don't sweat the group presentation. All right, do not. Again, if people are not responding, as, tell them to kick rocks, because we're just going to assume that they're not doing stuff this semester. I tried to kick out all the F students, but I'm only one person, and that's hard to do at the moment. So let me see. I see Veronica's got a question. Um Make sure I can read this. I got bad vision real quick, so let me open this up on my other tablet. All right. I feel better. I did question. All right. That's a very good question, Veronica. I prefer that you do this together. The reason why is because when students try to do the slideshows individually, I don't think they ever come across as like we work together on this thing, right? If you do want to do the slides individually, what I suggest, I don't think it's a big problem, but what I suggest is that you and your group members have a long conversation about what the order is going to be. Not a long conversation, but be like, I'm talking about this, this, and this. And then I'm talking about that, that, and that. And I'm talking about this, this, and this. And watch what you guys do together first, and then make sure it sounds coherent, and then submit it, okay? Because what a lot of students do when they do it individually is it feels thrown together, and that's the last thing I want, all right? So did I answer that question good enough for you, Veronica? Yes, no. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Veronica. All right. So, Kelly, did you have any questions? Did you want to stick around for a second? I could stop this recording and I could answer any questions that you got as well.
I do have a few questions.
All right, cool. So let me start because I do think I answered a bunch of questions earlier. I think Veronica might agree to that, but you came on a little bit later. So let me stop the recording. Thank you, class, for watching this. You guys been great, and we are going to finish the semester off strong. All right, cool. So let me stop this. Okay. And thank you, Veronica, for and Kelly.